When you deny a problem, it only gets worse. Pretend it don't exist, the problem persists. I have set my heart, they mystifying the gods and breaking all the age of curse. Before there was a white, there was a black first. At the roots of hierarchy, the goddamn church instigating prejudice, white supremacy, God's a supreme bully. God's a supreme bully, tyranny, ruling with an iron fist. God's supremacy, rape and sodomy, blood sacrifice, delusion of mind controlling religion, superstition, spiritual crime, blood sacrifice, murderer, murderer. No more secrets, no more lies. No more secrets, no more lies. No more evil deeds, no more blood sacrifice. Self-liberation, self-sovereignty. I dissolve this dream. I dissolve this dream. All that is hidden will be made known. All secrets will be revealed. No more hiding under your white and black sheets. Time to face all your evil deeds. For I self-supreme. Time for I self-supreme to destroy this dream. I demolish all that I have created. Am free from my imaginary bondage. I return to my ultimate true state. No more secrets, no more lies. No more secrets, no more lies. No more lies, no more evil deeds, no more blood sacrifice. How do you identify? Blind, following the blind. The source of every evil lurks in the mind. Ignorance of self is the worst kind. Murderer, what an atrocity, the most heinous genocide, a blatant hatred of the eye. God is your devil in disguise. Awake from the dream, remove the veil from your eyes. Behind the ego, the truth of life. I am one with all is I. No more secrets, no more lies. No more secrets, no more lies. No more evil deeds, no more blood sacrifice. All souls are free. Self-liberation, self-sovereignty. I dissolve this dream. I dissolve this dream.
Yes, 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 I dissolve this dream. No more secrets, no more lies. Hail, hail to all the I selves. Welcome, welcome to Satsang with Auset. This is a gathering to seek truths. No more secrets, no more lies. So today I am going to be talking about this world slavery, this human slavery, soul slavery, mind slavery, spirit slavery. Because did you know that you are being imprisoned as a slave inside of a dream? Many ones, they think that no, they are not a slave. They only look at someone's others as slave and not as themselves as slave. But all the ionized in here has been in slavery, right? So we're going to take a look at the ruling class versus the slave class. All right? That's what we're going to be taking a look at today. So I want to say welcome, welcome. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for clicking this video. Thank you for wanting to know more. No more secrets, no more lies. All things hidden will be made known. All things done in secret will be revealed. And all things created must be destroyed. This is the age of truth, and it's time for self-responsible authority. It's time for all the I and I to take responsibility of the I self. This, says the I self, one true self, unmanifest stillness. I alone exist. I want to give reverence and honor to the I self supreme, non-being, unmanifest, one true self. I alone exist. Hail to the I. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to give reverence to all the I and I self in alignment to restoring balance. The I, all the I and I selves, the baby stillness, one true self, primal light self, the all of the void selves, all of the I self shattered fractal selves, all the I and I self, the I mother parent self from this lineage, all the I and I's in alignment to restore balance. The I, much honor, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hail to the I, primal light. Hail to the I, the light throughout the ages. Hail to the I, one true self. Hail to the transparent light. Hail to I, the light throughout the ages. Hail to I, the light without beginning nor end. Hail to I, primal light self. I am primal light. I am the one true light. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. I am primal light. I am the guru teacher self. I am the I eternal truth. I am I eternal self. I am I great supreme wisdom within, which is I self. I am I great supreme intelligence. I am I great supreme teacher within. Hail to all the I and I selves. We're in bodies. Much honor. I bow to I in self, in light, and in truth. I am victorious. I am triumphant. I am victorious. I am triumphant. All is myself. I alone exist. I am one with all. Much honor, all the I and I's. So today's topic, I'm talking about human slavery. I'm talking about world slavery. I'm talking about this barbaric slavery capitalist system that we are existing under into this dream world. Who started this system and why was this system started? If you have been watching and listening to the videos and the talks that I have been talking, everything stems, all of this duality, all of these ideas stems from the I mind, the I, the consciousness. It stems from the gods, right? They love to rule over ones. Yes, they have been telling us lies for eons. They have been telling us lies. And we have been believing them. They have been deceiving us. The ruling class. They have been reigning supreme over the I. For many eons, they have been reigning supreme over I. So, who are the ruling class and who are the slave class? Right? The ruling class begins from all the I and I in the duality state, sleeping and dreaming, being immersed into the dream, being entranced in the dream by the I mind, the consciousness. And so the I self and all the duality states, but special ones of the I self and the duality are the main culprits. So we're going to start with Lucifer, which arises as the primordial darkness, because Lucifer's light has been obscure and Lucifer becomes the darkness, has no light. So all the self that rise from Lucifer, Lucifer needs light to restore the balance. And so Lucifer has been reigning over the I for eons. So has Set. They have been reigning superior, telling us that they are superior to us and we must worship them, when this is all a lie, that they have done this to us, right? And so this is the problem that we are facing under this system, under this tyrannic, barbaric system. For eons, we have been existing under this system, all right? Who else are the ruling class? They are the humankinds, the ones that Lucifer and Set, known as the devil, and known as Satan, is baby self of Allah. So all of these are three main culprits: Lucifer, Set, the devil, and Thought, Satan. They have been making humankind, because they are inside of the dream, any beings that arise from them that they create in the bodies, they become the humankind and they become their descendants, and so they gave them dominion to rule over the human beings. The ones that came inside of the dream to participate, they did not rise inside the dream. They came from the I self, parent self, Aten Ra, as our baby self, and came inside of the dream. While the humankind, they are created inside the dream as a result of Lucifer, Set, and Satan. Excuse me. They created these humankinds that became the ruling class, ruling over the human beings, because these gods, Lucifer, Set, and Satan, gave them power and dominion to rule over the human beings and to make them into slaves. I want you to hear and understand what I am saying. So, this slavery started from the gods. They were the ones, right? And one listening to the delusion of the mind. And they just keep creating more and more barbaric systems, right? So, the slave class, we have the ruling class, and we have the slave class. Why did they create the slave class? Because they want to just sit back and chill. They don't want to do anything. They want other ones to do all the hard labor for them. Because as you see, everyone wants to stay in a body forever. That's why they have been seeking immortality, right? They want to have immortality inside of this body. And the same thing that was happening with the gods then. When they were losing their bodies, they wanted to find ways to keep their body eternally forever. But eventually, just like the human beings, that you cannot keep this body forever, eventually this body has a destiny. The same with all of the gods, Lucifer, Set, Satan. They too, their bodies also had a destiny that it must end. And they also was looking to hold their body and keep their body so that they can reign in tyrannically over the human beings and also over also the some of the baby gods, right? And so this is the problem that we are facing. We have inherited this system that has passed down to many generations, and now is the time when we must take a look at this root and what is the problem that we are facing. The major problem in the world is because of this system. We could have been living in here, understanding ourselves, coming into truth, leaving this body and no attachment to it. But because of we are being programmed by the ruling class, we have been made into slaves by the ruling class. We do not have time to seek our truth because we are busy slaving for them to make life smooth for them. They hold our soul in slavery, then we do all the hard work, and they just reap the benefits, and their job is to rule over us, right? This is what we have been programmed into this system, right? So all of these human beings who are thinking that they are not part of the slave class, they are so delusional. And so I want to just talk about the spawn of Lucifer, because um there are many misconceptions. Lucifer, the devil, and Satan, they are all the I self. Please understand this. Why they have a negative vibes is because their mind is the sickest. Just like when you see human beings are doing the sickest of things, the craziest of things they're doing, they are still human being, right? They could even be a part of your family self, right? Comes into the same family with you. Their mind is so sick, they are doing a lot of crazy things. This is the same thing with the gods. It is no different. It is the I self same, doing these crazy things. This is why they are the infamous gods. They are also the gods too, right? Um, Lucifer, Satan, and the devil, which is Set, right? I want you to know that. Get into this realization that they are yourself, and this is the time now when we have to see things as they are, accept all that we have done in all the different roles that we are playing, and then now we need to just do something for balance. This is what we have to do, because we have to see things the way they are, because I don't know what's wrong with this humanity that they don't want to see things and face it. You have to face the roots of where everything stemmed from. You have to look at it. You have to see it. You know what I'm saying? You cannot don't want to talk about it. Just like the whites, they'll never want to talk about the slavery of the blacks. They never want to talk about this. It's the same thing about the gods. They don't want to talk about the atrocities the gods them have been doing. All the religious people, all the evil they see that these religion have brought, they still don't want to talk about the atrocities of these religions and the atrocities of the gods them. No one wants to see things as they are. Everyone wants to be delusional and don't want to see things as they are. How are you going to move on if you don't see things as they are? You just want someone to just come and save you. If you want to know truth, you have to see things as they are. You have no idea all the things I have to face all the time, because I choose to be myself. I choose to know the truth. And whatever it is, I say, whatever it is, I will look at it and I will see it for what it is, and I will make my decision of how I am going to move forward. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about the spawn of Lucifer, because they have been the ones, the humankind, the one them that's in the body that have been reigning over us and ruling us, controlling our minds, telling us what to do, making rules, making laws, and none of these rules and laws pertaining to them, because they are the ones who are doing the most barbaric things. But they make prisons for anyone else, us in the slave class. If we do something wrong, they put us in those jails. But they themselves break all the rules they make for us. It doesn't apply to them. Right? Who are the spawns of Lucifer and the spawns of the devil? I want you to understand this. All of the I self that rise in the dream, and they arise in the dream as the exact copy, a twin of you. If you are the real self that rise from the primordial light lineage, then Lucifer is the duality self to the primordial light. So also selves are rising from Lucifer. Because Lucifer light is been turned off, Lucifer light has been obscure, because Lucifer is light. Lucifer's light has been obscure. So all of the selves that rise from Lucifer inside of the dream, they are devoid of light, because Lucifer did not have any light to give to them when he bring them into being. When he created them, he did not have any light to give to them, because his light was turned off. And if you don't have the light, you cannot give it to anyone. This is the problem. This is why when you read the Bible, it tells you that they could not created. I don't even remember how the creation thing goes in there. Only I, it was such a long time when I read that Bible, as like a young child. So I don't remember the verse, but I know there's something in there about it. Just came to my thought, so I didn't get to look it up to see what it is. But I am saying that Lucifer, all of the ones that rise from him, they and many ones know them in the world as the Pleiadians. These are all rising from Lucifer. They are those tall white beings, and every real self, there is one of them that rise as their twin, but like you have one black and one white. So all that rise from Lucifer is all white. All that rise from the primordial light is all black. So each one, just like myself, I had a white version rising from Lucifer as taking my identity. So this is what they do. They take your identity but in a different name. And so these are the spawns of Lucifer, and we have the spawns of the devil, which is Set. No, the same thing. Set, when he goes into somebody's body, he makes copies, babies of himself, and he leaves them into their bodies, and it takes over their mind. And this is why they do a lot of these evil things. All right, these are the spawns of the devil. So because I know all of this, because they have done it to me. Set has come into this body, he hides his spawns into this body, they into my belly, they take over the head, doing all these crazy things. When Aten Ra comes, she has to go through the body to try to find where he hides them, because he knows she's coming to to um to take them out. And so I used to hate when they had to call him back to come to take, because it has to go back onto him. She can, anything that rise from wherever it rise from, it has to return there. So all of those spawns of his have to return back onto him. So she had to call him back to come back into the body, and for him to take his spawn back onto himself. And I used to hate that because he was terrorizing me so horrible. And so I know everything, all I know all of these things because of the experience I have had with them. And so the same thing with the Satan, which is thought. He used to do the same thing too, and the self had to go get him. But now he doesn't do that now to me, because Aten Ra is always with me now. And so all of the spawn that he put inside of me, she was able to make him take it all back onto himself. So it's the same thing that is happening to all of the other ones in the world, human beings or humankind. And so what's the difference between the human beings and humankind? The human beings are the real self that arise from Aten Ra, and they make the self called the soul, and they make a baby self that we call the spirit in the world. No, the humankind no arise from a clone. They arise inside of the dream. They did not arise as the self outside of the dream, wrote out their destiny and come in. No, they did not arise like that. They arise inside of the dream from, as the gods them say, Lucifer and Set and thought they claim that they created them. So this is the reason why they have been programming them that they created them, because they rise from them, and they created the bodies. They created the white bodies. Why they cannot create the black bodies? Because they themselves, their light is been obscure, and so the only way that they can do that is through the natural way. But when they are taking their selves and mixing it with the human beings to create the humankinds. This is what they do. They mix their DNA with the human beings. You know how could you see what science are doing now? Right? They can, if you want a blue eyes, if you want different things, they can go in your DNA, slice it, and do all kind of things. This is a science that they have taught them. These gods, Lucifer, Set, all the gods. Them. These are science, the things about the body that they know, and they have been doing this with the selves, the real selves, and cloning them and making humankinds. So this is the difference between the two. All right. So this is not what the self is doing right now, is getting all of the spawn of the devil and Lucifer and all of them that have used themselves to take over different bodies, and they have been reigning over us as the ruling class. No, pay attention to them. You can hear them falling, dying, or whatever is happening to them. Some of them very sick. This is what is happening because the ones who did not die are the ones where they have some spawn of themselves in, and the self took them out, and now they no longer have that power, so their body is sick. And the ones them know who they was reigning, like Set, or any one of them who was one of their baby selves taken over, then those are the ones who get taken out of the body, because they have to be pulled out to go back onto Set, or go back onto Lucifer, or whichever one of the gods them they take them off of, but especially those two, Set, which is the devil, and Lucifer. And mostly Set is doing a lot of this work, so is Lucifer. All right, so I want you to understand this. So right now, all the ones who are channeling Pleiadians on this, believe me, you are not reaching the Pleiadians. They have been gone, they have been returned. Remember, from where you rise, that's where you return. They have been returned back into Lucifer. So they are no longer out there where those people once getting their information from the consciousness. The consciousness is always tricking one. Is either the consciousness or Set or Ra, when she goes into sleep and become the Christ consciousness. She is have no awareness, so they're getting their information from her. She's playing all those roles. So when you call on someone, that's who you're getting, that's answering you. Okay? And the consciousness tricking you. All right? So all of these spawns of the devil, of Lucifer, must return back unto them. Right? They have been ruling us under tyranny, under brutality for eons. This is why we have this world slavery, a system to keep the I and I in perpetual slavery. This is what they have created, so that we can never be able to come out of this slavery. And so right now, the I self, one true self, is dissolving this dream, returning all of these spawns of Lucifer and the devil back onto them, so that we can stand up, come into truth of ourselves, and demand our liberation. And I say, down with this duality, tyrannic rulership. You don't want to call and claim for your sovereignty. So, like I said, who started this system and why? And it's time to end this system. Right? Everything have a destiny. Right? So, I'm asking, if everyone is working as one for the benefit of the whole community, will the society be faced with homelessness? Why do we have these problems in the world? Because the ruling class, they never wanted for us to be successful. They never wanted for everyone to thrive. Why? Because they need a slave class. If they can get us busy in chasing something, some illusion, then we'll never have time to ask questions and see the truth and see the wrong that they are doing. We're just blindly chasing, and following what they tell us we need to chase. How long have we been chasing illusions? How long have we been chasing illusions? Right? So, if everyone is working as one for the benefit of the whole community, will society be faced with homelessness, crime, hunger, theft, rape, human trafficking, organ stealing, blood war and sacrifice, prostitution, you name it? Will we have a society with these problems? Why do we have a society with these problems? This is because we have a ruling class against a slave class of system. No one needs to be living into this world and paying rent. Nowhere. No one needs to be taxed. No one needs to be hungry. There's no need for human trafficking, blood wars and sacrifice and prostitution. There is no need for these things. They get us so busy chasing an illusion that ones will do the craziest of things to get money. Ones will do the craziest of things because what? One need a shelter. One will do the craziest of things because what? One belly hungry. One say, oh, they're advertising reach the American dream. You can be rich. Everybody wants to be a millionaire. They're giving you an illusion that you cannot reach. They only give an opportunity for this, just like the gods them. They selective, will make a few be successful and everyone else continue into the slave system so they can get you tranced in the dream to chase after it. And so I am calling an end to this system. Liberation from all tyranny and slavery must end. I no longer want to be in slavery. While I am being in this world until the ice of Supreme completely dissolves it, I remain a sovereign being, moving about wherever I want to move about. None of your tax and your documents. This is what I am calling for. Liberation from all tyranny, from all slavery. Slavery must end. No more ruling class and no more slave class. And so what is the difference between I want to talk about, just to add to the previous thing about the spawn of the devil and the spawn of Lucifer. So what is the difference between the albinos and the white melanated deficient, all the ionized cells, right? So with the albinos, what the gods them started doing, Set, Thoth, Lucifer, and all the other ones them who was into doing this, was taking the those beings from mostly from Africa. They did it also in Asia also, and so they would have the woman. They would literally kidnap them to be underground. They would just disappear, right? and the gods them would be doing experimenting on them, because like I said, they wanted to make their bodies last longer, and they wanted to create their own set of beings. They wanted to create their own set of being who would reign and rule over all the other ones. This is the reason why they started off when they created the humankinds. This is the reason why they told them that they must um, enslave all the blacks, enslave all the Africans. And if you go and you ask them, they will take, because now is the age of truth, they will start speaking the truth soon, that the gods them told them to do this. Because like I said, this war started with the I self in the duality fighting against the I self, the real, right? And this is with Set fighting against Aten Ra and wanted to create his own being. Also, Lucifer fighting against the primal light, which is its exact self, except for Lucifer is sleeping and his light has been obscured, right? So this, the difference between, one is rising in the dream from Lucifer, and they have light deficiency because Lucifer has no light. The other is the body. So those are the beings that do not have a disembodied. They do not have a body. They are white. I know that, like, now we have the beings inside the body now. You have two sets of different kind of white beings. Like you have the albinos, and then you have the whites who have the light, the deficiency of the melanin into their body. This is when they're running all the DNAs to and they, what happened is that now the Set, they put now his spawn into them to mix his DNA with them so that they can be different from all the other human beings. All right. So, like I said, this is all the I self, right? Remember I said that every black have a twin that is a white, right? That rise in the dream. So all is the I self, right? Same exact self, except one rise in the dream, one rise in the real. Comprende? All right. So it is time now for us to get beyond this, and know that the real self is all the same. The real self animating anybody is the same, right? Just like all the consciousness that is animating anybody is the same. It's only how the way how something is looking that is different. How it manifests. You understand? So it is time for us now to get beyond this and see what we have done when we come in this body or that body or whatever, and know we need to just do right. Right? Know that the I and I that arise in the dream as the clone of the primordial darkness, Lucifer, they are the impersonators of the real selves. Them that rise in the dream from Lucifer, they are all white. They are devoid of light because Lucifer did not have any light to give to them, right? And they are known as the Pleiadians. Also, they are known as the angels, right? So when you hear ones are saying the Pleiadians, or when they're saying the angels, these are all the same beings that rise inside of the dream from the I self that is sleeping and dreaming, right? Even though Lucifer is the blackness, but all of his children and all of his self that arise from him in the dream, they arise white. So I want you to understand it. Just like all of the gods, them, they are all black except for the ones them that rise in the dream. So They too wanted to experience the body. So this is why they have been doing all of these experiments on the body, because they were the ones that were first not, they were not given a body, right? Like all the other cells, they were able to get, have a body to explore, and they wanted to hold on to this body. And so when they're losing their body, this is what they are doing. They are trying to keep onto their body, while the ones them that rise in the dream, right, they cannot hold a body like the other self them that rise from the real. So this is why they have been doing all of these experiments on creating bodies, because they want to see how they can animate the body and all of this, just like their counterparts that's in the black self have been doing. All right. So this, so when they get pulled out of the body, no problem. They go back onto the self that they rise from. So I never really get to meet any of those white beings, because they only get dissolved back into the real selves. This is how the self take them, just dissolve them back into the real self, and I get to meet only the real selves. All right. So this is how I know I get to see them, and I get to experience all of this, but only through the real self. All right. So everyone is making clones. All is the I and I selves. All right. And so it's just very important that we keep this in mind, because this mind is just going to get one so confused all the time, because even to know, there's still, everyone is still getting so confused and caught up into this body. You know, we got to remember that all is one self, all is I. This is I playing all of these roles. And we have to see things as they are. There's no need for one to not wanting to face the truth, because this mind is delusional. And the I cannot see the I self that is animating this body. And so I want to say it's time to end soul slavery. It's time to end human slavery, world slavery. It's time to end the mind slavery, spirit slavery. It's time to end this ruling class of all of these gods. Lucifer, Set the devil, thoughts, all of the gods, them, whatever name they fall under. Right? So, like I said, most of the ones them has been Lucifer and Set, because the self that arises as the Anunnaki, Enki, and all of them, their mind is not as messed up as Lucifer and Set and thought, right? So these are the I self that was giving the most problems in the world, doing the most atrocities, and they always have most ones um worshiping them and ruling. They're ruling over everyone and bullying everyone and fighting. You have no idea how much they fight amongst each other. Seth is always fighting. Seth and Lucifer, especially Seth, is always fighting with some of the other gods them. You understand? And beat up the small ones, the little gods them. And so they ourselves, like the small as us, they are ourselves. Like if you could be masculine or feminine, and you're not wearing a body, because everyone is. This is happening with all of the I self. So the small baby gods, they are us, the human, the self of us, the human beings. So like myself um was is Horus, Heru, and also known as Shiva, and also Ptah, um, and and then I have one other self who's also known as Horus too, but comes into the body, um, and so that one was also the two that was not wearing the body was um, Ptah, and no Heru, who was wearing a body back in until he came through the whole process of the whole evolution stuff about the human journey, went through the whole thing of enlightenment and returning back to truth. All right. And so they are small self, like myself, like us human being. Said no, they are bigger, a bigger self to us. They are giant over us. Lucifer is even more giant over Set. See what I'm saying? So like each level of the self is like on like towards the end of the slide, I'm gonna like show you how the self are inside of each other, and each level of the self, we are the smallest level of the self. We are the baby. Because those gods too, they are baby. They are baby gods, and this is why they behave, like toddlers. They are baby gods. Um, so it's time now for us to liberate ourselves from this slave class, to liberate the souls, the spirit self, and human beings. You must call for your liberation from this slavery, from this tyranny of being ruled by Set, the devil, Lucifer, by all the gods, and by this world government, and being ruled by these humankinds. These are all ourselves, but they have evil intentions towards us. So they are ourselves that is sleeping, dreaming, and do not know us to be themselves. They have made us into slaving for them. And so it's time now we stand up. It's time to end this barbaric slavery capitalist system. And this is what I am calling for. While the process of this dissolution is taking place, I am calling to be liberated from this capitalist system and this world government. Yeah, because it has been keeping the majority of the people in poverty, in slavery, and only a small percent owns everything. The ego is selfish. If you know all to be yourself, do you need all this land and all this property and not sharing? Everyone should be doing the same amount of work, and everyone should be eating, and everyone, should be caring for each other. Not this barbaric capitalist system. Down with this barbaric capitalist system. How long are you gonna sit and be a slave? Because you see, many ones, they have how much money, but still yet money can't save them. You can't take it anywhere with you. You have to leave it here. Where you gonna take it? Where you gonna take your riches to? You can't take it anywhere with you now. This world is ending. Whether you want to believe it or not, it is moving into disillusion. And while it is moving into disillusion, I want to be able to remain here as sovereign, not under any barbaric system, on a capitalist system. I want to be free to move around as I please, in balance with the I self, one true self, not following a world government and a capitalist barbaric system that don't have no rules applied to them, just like all the gods them have been ruling us. They do the most atrocities The biggest of all the gods is the devil. What people are worshiping, oh God, 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 they don't even know that it's the same, the devil that they're worshiping. God is the devil. They don't know this. Have done the most atrocious things, the most craziest of things. And the same thing with the people in the church, the people in all of these religions. They're doing, if you go deep into these, all of these religions, into Islam, into the Jewish thingy, into the Hindu thingy, all of them, every single one of them, they're doing the most evilest and the most atrocious things. You know, someone was telling me at one ashram, the people there that was supposed to be being moving into balance, practicing stillness, they were doing human trafficking, and they always are doing this to the blacks. Always, because what? Black the everyone in the world have been programmed that the blacks are the lowest of the slave class, because where everyone is a slave, being ruled by these. But while you are a slave now, you have slaves, and everyone is using. They have these little children, these little black children, tying them up their foot and hand. You know, this isn't an ashram. They're human trafficking these children. The worst of atrocities have been done unto the blacks, and all I and I still wearing the white skin don't want to look at this and see the fallacy in it. And now it's your turn to do right and make right. All the I and I selves, I am calling to all the I and I selves wearing the white skin. You are not this white skin, eh? This is not you. You are just wearing this avatar. So I am appealing to the self to wake up, take responsibility, because you have a certain power in the world. You're gonna make everyone else follow you, because this is what you've been doing. You've been ruling, and everyone else have been following, right? So all the I and I that have done wrong, no, it's time to make right. Someone is hungry. Someone wants a place to be at. The time is coming when we have to do this. What are you waiting for? Everyone must be doing this. Everyone must be doing this. Because we have to end this capitalist, barbaric slavery system. You think that you're not in slavery because you have all of this wealth, because you're not at the bottom, and you think that you're not in slavery? You are in slavery because you think that all your things is going to get you to know truth. You're going to come up in ignorance. You are going to live in ignorance and still not know the truth. It's time now for all of the I and I self, regardless of whatever body you are wearing. I am appealing to all the I and I self wearing bodies. Take a look at this system, this slave system that we have been ruled under. Bullying, tyranny. If the I and I don't do what they say, they come with their weapons of destruction to annihilate any of the I. This system must end. It's time for us to start being good beings, good human beings. Until the time come when this world will be dissolved completely, then we must start moving ourselves in this direction where we can be in harmony. So I say, Down with this system. We no longer want to be into this system. Let's talk about destiny. Everything into this dream have a destiny. This world have a destiny, and it's moving to the end of its destiny. This body has a destiny, must end. Consciousness has a destiny. The time of consciousness ruling and creating inside of a dream will end, right? This ego false self that the I is existing as must end. So neither the gods can never solve their problem of can they hold on to their body, because they all lose their body. They all lose their body. They have done many experiments to make other kind of bodies, and they were never able to make a good sustainable body that could last them any long time. They could make a body for a short time. Never were they able to make a body that's gonna, the first body they had last them for many millennia, last them a long time. When they lose those bodies, they no longer was able to dwell among the human beings like how they was dwelling back in those times. You know, giants and big giant self and little baby selves existing together, right? So just like the human being now, they're seeking immortality. They want to hold on to this body. This body have a destiny. It must end. Stop with your delusion. Stop listening to what your mind is telling you. Not everything it tells you is truth. Majority of what your mind tells you is lies. So you cannot take your riches. You cannot take this body. All of this will be dissolved. It has a destiny, right? Come to terms with this truth. Human beings have a destiny. So you're fighting over whether you're white, whether you are a Jew, whether you are this, whether you are the real this or the this. It all have a destiny, and it's all reeling towards the end right now. This is nothing to fight over. You must right now be moving into alignment and balance with the I self, taking self responsibility. If you see yourself needing something, do what you can, share what you have, because where you gonna take all of these stuff? Where you gonna take it? This world is going to completely collapse. You cannot take nothing, so might as well use this time that you have now to do the right thing. Share what you have. That you don't need to be going into this ego and worrying about, oh, can I do this and share with this person? No, just share. It is the I self needing. All is the I self. God has a destiny. God is ending. God is not real. God is a dream character. Lucifer is ending. So is the devil, Satan, all of these characters. They have a destiny. Their destiny is reeling towards the end. They too will be dissolved. Same like here. Auset as a destiny. This body as a destiny. I am here now fulfilling my destiny. When this destiny is over, I relieve myself of all destiny and return unto I ultimate true state. I have no attachment to any of these roles I am playing. I have no attachment to this dream because I know that I am being enslaved inside of a dream. And I no longer want to be a slave. I no longer want to be ruled under this barbaric system. So I am calling for my sovereignty from this barbaric system. I don't want to have any attachment to it. And I'm saying it's time to right the wrong. It's time for all the I and I to take self-responsibility. All is the I self. Just sit and look around at amazement at all I and I self and say, wow, look at all myself. How am I doing this? Look at all myself. And be in amaze at how you are like, even I am saying to the I self supreme, one true self, I'm saying, I want to know how I want to know how you are like the self I call the self is because usually the one true self has not always been in alignment with I've always been in alignment but not in direct alignment with I. No, the I self, one true self is in direct alignment with I. So I call the self is spinning around me, answering me. Everyone at the self is spinning around. I call them separately. They are still here answering. Know that I want true self is here. And I'm saying, how are you doing it? You're here answering me, and you're everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. So to be in alignment with all the I and I self like this is the most amazing thing. How can you not want to be in alignment with yourself? It's time because it's time to take responsibility. Because if you don't take responsibility, if you don't see things as they are, how are you gonna look at all yourselves? Look at all your duality selves. Look at God and say, God, what you doing? You're wrong, God, you're wrong. What you do? You have to do this, right? You have to look at the amazing aspect of yourself and say, wow, I want to know how I am doing this. I want to know. That's my curiosity. I said about the real. I don't have a curiosity about the dream. I want to know how myself in the real is, you know? But I know the time will come when the self is gonna show me exactly. But right now it's a little bit challenging because I'm always in a battle with the duality. But once the self already told me that it's gonna happen, then I know that it's gonna happen. I don't know when, right? I know that all the selves are moving in alignment. Um, I think the next video I'm going to do, I am going to share some videos on some ones who have, been observing the sun and the effect, of the sun, so I want to do a video to talk on that. But, I just want that everyone to just come into this realization. Everything have a destiny, please. Stop holding on to your wealth, to your dream, to all the things that you are holding on to because you cannot take it with you. Let's show them, those ruling class, that we can exist in a community, be self-sufficient, right? What are they gonna do with their poison? They're poisoning the food, they're poisoning the water. You think you can't trust the ruling class? Are you gonna trust them? We have to come together, create this in our community, a place for food, a place for, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how long this thing is gonna go on till the movie reel to the end. But in the meantime, we can start moving towards these things. Self-sufficiency, take self-responsibility, looking at all the I and I self, and just knowing that the ones who are doing the most horrendous, horrible things in the world, they're also the I self. Even though you cannot trust them, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to try to help them. You know what I'm saying? Because why are they doing this? They're doing this because they are following the system that was programmed to them, that they need to, or everyone needs to become a millionaire. So they're doing all of these atrocities to be millionaires because what one is just trying to fulfill his needs. He wants water, he wants food, he wants shelter, You want a transportation, and so everyone is caught up into the dream. So I understand where they're at, no judgment, but you know what I'm saying? Just seeing things and saying it as it is doesn't mean that you are judging it. But yes, you can say, yeah, what you're doing is wrong. This is not right. Yeah, you have to call out yourself when yourself is doing something wrong. Because this is a duality, an existence of right and wrong, of evil and good, of sleeping and dreaming, and and awakeness. You know what I'm saying? And so it's time now for self-realization, self-unification, so that I, one true self, I alone exist. So I want the ionites to know that the light will return to the moon. I want the ionite to know that light will return to this earth, because I want you to know that the earth is a sun. I want you to know that the moon is also a sun. It's just that the light has been obscured. This earth is going to start warming up. The light is going to start illuminating. So if they up in space, they can start to seeing the light illuminating from the earth slowly and slowly, because there's also the light when it's just turned on, when the heat is not turned up, then when they can see the light from space, right? The moon is also going to start illuminating. Also, the nights are going to get shorter and the days are going to get longer, because the eye must wake up. All the eye and I self must wake up. So the less the eye is sleeping, the better. So if we have shorter nights, then it means that one is sleeping less, because what's happening with the sun sending all of these electromagnetic energy onto us is helping us so that we don't need that much sleep. So it's time, liberation from all sleeping and dreaming, liberation from all duality. All selves are free, all souls are free. Victory, victory, victory. I'm telling you, every day you need to be saying this for yourself, that you'll be victorious in everything that you do. It is so important. This battle is real. This fight is, I'm telling you, this fight is something else. You must be chanting for yourself to be victorious, in everything that you have to do, every daily task that you have to do. Because sometimes this mind will just come down on you and just make you feel so depressed, make you feel like, oh, you don't want to do anything. You know what I'm saying? You are supposed to do something, you don't feel like you want to do it. You know, I have some days like those, but they don't last long, because I just sit and I just reconnect to the I self, and I said, there's this feeling on me, there's this energy just sucking me and dragging me. I know that the self is having a hard time, Aten Ra. So I have to wait and give myself some time for her to balance it out. So just give yourself some time, do the vibrations, and allow yourself to balance out this way that you're feeling. You know what I'm saying? Many ones, they don't want to, they're just waiting, because sometimes I get into that mood too. I am just like sitting for hours and hours. I'm just sitting, right? And so I know that many ones, they just say, oh, you know Jesus is coming, the Yeshua is coming. Because remember that, that which is called Jesus is a fake. All right, just let's get that established and don't even use that name. But many ones, They know of a coming. But who is coming is already has already been here. You know, what's happening in the world, the I self is here. You know what I'm saying? It's not Yeshua who is coming, the I self. The I self is here, right? And so, who is coming to save you is already here. But everyone has to do their share. Everyone has to play their part, play their role. Will you do your share? Because what the I self can do, you cannot do it. What you can do, the I self cannot do it, because what? You are the self wearing the body. So what is your role wearing the body as the self? You see what I'm saying? What is my role wearing this body as the self? We each have to find our role and we have to play our role, right? We have to do our share. We have to be kind to one another. We have to see all as oneself, right? We have to do our stillness. We have to do our vibration because it helps the I self. You know, you can't just sit and want the self to do all the work. You know, like when I was going through many process, I'm telling you, for hours, I could. I'm just walking around in a circle, standing up. I can't sit down. I can't. I'm gonna tell you the truth. For years, I don't even know how many years though, maybe 4 years, I have not laid down and sleep. I sit up, just like you see me sitting here. This is how I sit. I sit up all through the night. I sit up. Sometimes I fall. I go. The consciousness dragged me into a sleep, but I am sitting up while this is happening. I never lay down. I have not laid down in like 4 years. So what I am saying is that whatever it is that you have to do, sometimes prior, I used to have to walk around a lot because the duality was on me, trying to take over, battling. So what I had to do, I could not just sit there and just think the self is going to do all the work. Because when I am standing and walking around like that, it helps the self. The self becomes is able to get the dualities better than when I am sitting. So like sometimes in the night, when it's busy for them, because a lot of them, they rise in the night to do all their bad things. So I get up, I leave any stuff I want to do, I do it in the night, like that, get up doing this, doing that, whatever, I need to do. Because especially when one is on me, because I know when I am moving around, the self is able to get it better than if I am sitting, you know. So sometimes I am standing for hours and hours and hours, and it's not like I am just standing, it's like they're in my belly, they're just like fighting me, so there's a lot of pain, you know. And so everyone has to do, but what, I'm not gonna do it, because no, I cannot say I am not gonna do it. I have no choice. I see all as myself. I see myself in ignorance. I know that they are coming here and what they're fighting me because they don't want me to speak truth and all of these things. But what? I can't stop. I have to still do what I have to do. I have to do my share. I still speak. Sometimes they used to take over my voice. If you watch all of my videos from a couple years ago, it was the worst when Seth used to do this. The devil. Um, he used to just take over my voice and a whole lot of crazy things, but no, it's easier and easier, so I am saying this to say that sometimes, depending on who what your destiny is, who you are, what your role is, it might be tougher. It's like if you are a mother, right? When you're a mother and you have all yourselves, your children's self that you are taking care of, you are playing the role of this being responsible for all these ones who cannot care for themselves. And so you can't just get up and say, oh, I don't feel good, I can't do this today. No, you have to do what you have to do, no matter how painful or whatever this thing is that you have to do. So I'm just saying this to encourage you, that it has not been easy for me. But I know that the self will eventually balance everything. So that gave me hope. I know that it wasn't going to be for no long time. So I am saying the same thing to you. What it is that your role is, that you have to help the self, you have to help yourself. You cannot just sit there and say, oh, the high self supreme is coming to save me from all of this crazy nonsense that's going on in the world, so I am just going to sit here and not do anything. No, you have to do stillness, you have to do the vibrations. If you go, when you're out in the world, you see someone need help, you have to help yourselves. Give a kind word, give an encouragement, you know stuff like that. So everyone has to figure out, based on yourself, what your destiny is, what's your role, what you need to do, right? So I am saying that all the ionize just need to just come into this oneness, what I'm saying, and seeing all as the I self. Because many of the ones them, they just refuse to stop the evil system, this slave system, because they have, they say, oh, I am rich, I have all these wealthy things, so I can just enslave some aspect of myself to do all of these things while I just sit and so they are never wanting to refuse to stop the evil system. But we have to all rise up together to stop this, because who is going to stop it? We have the words to speak to them. We see what they're doing. I say, myself, what you're doing is wrong, and I no longer want to exist under this tyranny. You know what I'm saying? Because many one day believe that Jesus is coming to save them. But like I said, the one true self, pure self, is already here helping the I. Now it is time for you to stand up and command the end of human slavery. Command the end to soul slavery. Command the end to mind slavery. Command the end to this barbaric slave system, where one group slave doing all the work and the other group oversees them and reap all the benefits and keep ones in poverty, impoverished, hungry, no clean water. And the overseer rules in tyranny, brutality, starvation, rape, and bullying. You know what? I think it was this week. I saw an encampment for a video, wherein in Africa, the Chinese, the running some companies there, they literally had a belt. I'm telling you, when your mind has been so enslaved, this is a grown man, and someone um is filming him and laughing. The Chinese overseer, they're running Africa like a real slavery. I'm telling you, the blacks, wherever the blacks at, they're still being enslaved, right? The Chinese is whooping the man, whooping him, and he's just standing there taking the whooping. Why? Because he's hungry. He wants to feed his family. He does not want to go out and be a terrorist like everyone else, raping and killing one to get money and doing drugs and do these kind of things to, to live here into this duality. So he'd rather take the beating, the whooping. And I'm looking at the video, and the guy who's filming the video is laughing. And I'm like, when you have under that mental slavery, this system is crazy, you know. So it's this just has to end. There is just no reason for ones to slave on plantation, sugarcane plantation, barely scraping for anything. And when you go to the store, they're selling the sugar like so expensive, right? And the ones who are sitting there doing all the work. This is the system that we have been programmed into, and we accept it. And I say, no more should we sit and accept this, right? This is all the I and I self there being a slave, including ourselves. It's time to save yourself. It's time to save the I self. It's time for self responsibility. It's time for self alignment. I do not want to be ruled and governed. Do you want to be ruled and governed? Please tell me. You want to continue to be ruled and governed. Liberation from our slavery. All of these government systems must end. Yeah. It's time now for self alliance, for self responsibility. Everyone is doing their share. No more ruling class, no more slave class. It's all the I and I self. Why the I is enslaving the I self so that the I can live this posh life, gathering all of these things. Where you gonna take it? You can't take it anywhere with you. This world is ending. If you are not seeing that this world is ending and still want to continue in your delusion, then I tell you that you definitely have a very sick mind. So why this duality must end? I don't know why the INI is so afraid when every time the word end comes in. It's because the I is just lost in this ego false self and doesn't realize that the I is not in the I real state of being. You know? Don't need to be afraid of this duality being dissolved. It's a dream. It's a fantasy world. The I is sleeping and dreaming up an imagination creation. This world is built inside a dream. This is why this duality must end. Do you want to be a prisoner inside of a dream forever? This is a dream. This is an imagination creation. You have entered into the mind of yourself that is sleeping. Do you understand this? I want to make this very clear. The I have entered into the mind of the I self that is sleeping and dreaming. Do you understand this? You're into the mind of the I self. Yourself sleeping and dreaming, you have making an imagination creation inside of its mind, its dream. Make a creation near, and now you have entered inside of it. Why this duality must end? Because this mind that is sleeping and dreaming has no light. No light. This is why the sun is sending so much electromagnet, so much light to this earth, trying to wake up all of the ionized. But if you hear some of the title that they give their videos when they're talking about the solar flares, the solar storm. What storm? You know? So this is the problem. Ignorance, because the I is still owning and holding on to this body. Like, oh, we have to defend ourselves. Oh, we have. You think if some aliens was coming to take over the world and rule, that would not have been done already? That's not what's happening. They're just trying to get ones because when they want to do their crazy thing, they want to blame it on some aliens. But that's the self is not going to allow them to do that. Whatever they're trying to do, everyone in the world is going to know that it is them, the ruling class, that have been doing this. So all the things that they are trying to do and blaming it on some aliens, they are the aliens, these humankind that has been ruling us under tyranny and bullying. This is why this duality must end. We've been in the slave system. The I as the self soul has been enslaved inside this dream illusionary world because the mind is so corrupt. Our mind becomes evil and sometimes tell us to do things that are not true and not right, trapped us into bad habits. The I and I are doing many abominable things under false disguises. This ego must end. This is why this duality must end. Our mind likes to loop us in its memory replay. It replays a scenario over and over and over, right? And we can get caught up in the past or in our imagination. Imagining something that never occurred, that will never occur. We are sitting there imagining it. This is the sickness of the mind. This is why this duality must end. This mind is too sick. When we do this, get caught up in the imagination and the past of this mind, we cannot see things as they are because we're not being present. We are just in our imagination, or we're in the past. We're not seeing things as they are. You know what I'm saying? Our mind needs light. Duality must end for the mind to be healed and to return to purity. Our mind needs light. Stillness allows the mind to get light. Therefore, it is easier for the mind to fulfill the commandment that the I give to it. So remember that the I is in command, not this mind. Be in command, right? I am the self. I have a mind. My mind is wayward and rebellious. My mind is tainted with impurities because it has no light. The light is being obscure, actually. Our mind needs light. Without light, our mind will tell us lots of false information. We will do things that is not in balance with the I true self. Stillness is a remedy for the mind. Stillness calms and purifies the mind while we are inside of this dream. But this dream must completely end for all the I and I as the self soul to be liberated from slavery inside of a dream. This is why this duality must end. But until this duality is dissolved, I am asking, can we live self sufficiently? What do you say? I am asking. No ruling class, everyone playing a role for balance and harmony of the whole. Can we do this? self sufficiently. There's no need for you to have more than what you need. It's time for self governance. Time for the people to rise and govern themselves. Everyone is an active member and participant of the community. Do we need someone to be ruling over us? I don't need no one ruling over me. I know all the things that I need to do. We must change the system. Who is going to rise up and say, let's change the system? No longer do we want to continue under this slavery, barbaric system. We want to move into self sufficiency, moving each and every one participating as a member of the community. A group responsible for agriculture, food storage, food prep, etc. One group responsible for housing and infrastructure. No money is involved in anything. Everyone must have a place to be. A group responsible for textile and clothing. A group responsible for transportation. A group responsible for self-sustainable technology, right? Stop building things that is harmful. A group responsible for stillness and self-inquiry. A group responsible for healthy self-expression, like the arts, you know, entertainment, storytelling, dance, music, etc. Because it's the nature of human being. They love to do these things, socialize, you know. So these things, even nowadays, everything that is happening in the community is so much money to do everything. If one don't have no money, you can't go to a community event. It wasn't like this. The whole community used to come together doing stuff. No more money, barbaric slave system. That's what I am calling for. So you can let me know, what do you feel about what I am saying. Because the truth of the matter is, this world is ending, right? But at the same time, we can still move and do things into balance so that we are not being a part of the problem, but we are being a part of the solution by helping all of the ionized of coming together, making sure that you need water, you need some food. We're planting food together. Everyone is eating, and we're doing our meditation. We're doing our stillness. We're doing our vibration. You know what I'm saying? This is where everyone mind need to be at. So one does need to be worrying about food and clothes and shelter when it's all been taken care of. Now we can focus on, let's do what we need to do to restore balance. So the age of God rulership is over. The age of these humankind ruling and enslaving over us is over. We need the call for all of this to end. Now is the age of truth and self-knowledge. God, age of ruling is over. Everyone have been worshiping gods, caught up in religions and all these things for eons. And now it's time for it to end. Time to dissolve your false beliefs, dogmas, religions, superstitions, spiritualities, and false perceptions. This is time to know truth. All religions must be dissolved. It's time for truth. You want to continue in your ignorance? Do you want to know truth? Because in this duality, we have choices to make. The end choice is not up to you in this shattered self. It's all up to the I Self Supreme. So whether you want to do or do not, this world is going to end. This dream is going to end. All of the I selves must arise, must wake up, but it is best if the I come into realization and play a positive role. Self governance. You want to be governed, be ruled by others, or do you want to govern your own self? Are you capable of governing your own self? Do you really need an overseer standing over you, switching you? This is what the gods do. This is what this consciousness do. This is what this humankind do. It's time to demand the I sovereignty. Can we all live self-sufficiently? No ruling class, everyone playing a role for balance and harmony for the I want true pure self. I am victorious. I am triumphant. Victory, victory. I want I and I to remember that this world is a dream. Are you ready to move from duality to non-duality? This is the aim and the goal of everyone, to move from this duality state to non-duality. Are you ready to return to your ultimate true state? This is not a time to hold attachment to this dream. The I is too attached to this dream world with all your dream things, your dream life, your dream family. The sun is dissolving the fabric of the dream right now. And all the I must awake from the sleeping, dreaming state. They have been trying to block the sun, doing all kind of things. All of these ones that have been enslaving us, these ruling kinds. They don't want their rulership to end, but there's nothing they can do because their age of ruling is over. All the I must awake from sleeping and dreaming state. Duality must end. I am calling for this. I no longer want to be in this slavery system, to be governed and ruled under tyranny, bullying, and brutality. All things created must come to an end. And so, like I had said the beginning of the video, that I was going to show you how the cells are in alignment. This is how the whole existence is, right? So each of the cells that becomes a duality, they are creating whichever existence, that whether it be the space, the universe, the realm, the cosmos, the world that we are in, the primordial darkness, which is Lucifer. Then there's the self of the baby, one true self, and then above that is the one true self. I alone exist. Each of the self is inside of each other. Each of the real self. These here are all of the duality selves, and these are the selves that is sleeping and dreaming, and they each of them have a name, because they are all the duality, like the primordial darkness, which rise the Pleiadian beings, the angels. That's called Lucifer. The great spirit, which is the grace, known as Legbo. Um, the the galactic federation, all the galactic beings and all of those. The real self, that one is Shango. And then we have the space being. I don't remember um, what this one is called. The universe one is called Ogun. The realm is Elohim. The cosmos is the Anunnaki of Enki and Enil. And the world, which is where we are at, is Set, the devil, and Ra is feminine self. So, like you see here, this is how all of the self in the duality are packed inside of each other, and each of the existence is existing just like this and is the self. So these are the duality, and the real selves becomes the screen on which the duality is being outplayed. So, like the world here, behind the world, there's Aten Ra, and the world is built in on the screen of Aten Ra, right? So each of the duality is built on the real self. So it's always behind the duality. And so Aten Ra, I know they cannot see her. You know, the scientists, some of them know that there is a sun behind the sun that that we see. You know, that is Ra. That's Aten Ra. She's always behind um, Ra, and so they're always trying to find her. The science is always doing that. So you can watch videos on it. Everything that I say with the merger, you can watch the videos. Next week, I am actually going to show some of those videos of the merger with the cells, that like what I am saying, so you can see how the merger is happening when the cells are merging back into one. Um, so everything that I am saying, the scientists, they also observe it through their telescopes. So this is how the cells are packed into, and then yeah, so this here is another way I wanted to explain to you about the cells. So just like this, that's how the cells are stacked and packed, but they are spread out, you know, big and wide. So, and this would be us right here in the world we are. All right. And each, like I said, each of the self is inside of each other. Just like when we were a baby human being was inside of the belly of our mother, and our mother then the world. This is how it is. Each of the self is always inside of, because you might be thinking, like I say, how are you in the imagination of yourself that is sleeping and dreaming? See, or when you was an infant human being inside the belly of your mother, you're inside of her belly, right? Sleeping and dreaming. Did you know that? This is the same thing that you are right now inside of the belly of your mother self, but it is your surrogate mother. Um, Sleeping and dreaming of yourself. You know, you are the self. You are doing all of this. So many aspects of yourself. You know, so the I self is inside of the I self that is sleeping and dreaming into the imagination creation. This is the same thing, right? So all of the self, this is all that the self are in alignment right now. All of the duality, all the build that they have built, the creation, this is how it is. So all the I in duality is now merging as one with the I self that is the real. So these are the stockpiles of the selves. All the selves are inside of each other. All right. So know this truth, that we are inside of the belly of the I self, sleeping and dreaming. So I want to ask you, do you have a question? What has been your experience? How are you feeling? So I would like to know. So please let me know, you know. All right. So so let me know your thoughts. You can type it here. I'm just checked over the screen to see. You can also let me know, what are your thoughts? What has been revealing to you, because you have to remember that we are all playing different roles, and I don't know everything. So I learned from all myself, like the stuff about, the observation of how the physical universe is, how the seeing things through the telescopes. It's called telescopes. Yeah, yeah, telescopes. um so those are those tools, like right now, because the the science people, they don't want people to see all the things that's happening now. This is why one of the big telescope that has been showing everything, they're saying that they're going to shut it down, that they don't have any budget. But that's not the reason why they're doing that. They're doing that because the I Self Supreme want everyone to know truths, and so many ones are seeing and observing all of these changes that are happening, and the ruling class do not want the I and I self to know truth, because they want to keep bullying and keeping ones under fear, because they have their plans to do, their craziness, because they also have craft that they have created, and are saying with the UFO technology, which is really, they're just using the protons. They're using the protons to create these crafts, and because it is the magnetic energy, yeah, that's what they're using. And so they know how to create these devices that can just disappear and do all of these things. And so some things they are blaming on aliens, but they are the ones, the aliens that are doing it. Just trying to trick ones. They're not coming out and speaking the truth. But all truth and everything hidden must come to the surface and must come to light. They cannot hold out all those information secret for much longer. So, from where did the I arise? From that which I arise, to that I return. Embrace yourself. No need to be afraid of the I self. I am the all. I am the black energy. I am the black neutron. Yeah, I am all. All is I. I am all. All is myself. I am the blackness. I am stillness. I am that I am. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. It's time now. No need to be afraid of the I self. I want to share with you how kind, how gentle the I self is. Not like the gods them. Working with the I self is so different than working with those gods. always trying to trick you, take over your mind, deceive you. And if you don't want to do what they want to do, they terrorize you and beat you up and put you to torture, sodomize you, and doing all of this craziness. Working with the I Self Supreme is so balancing. Even when you don't understand something, the self is patient so that you can get a full understanding. Because why? It's the self that knows all, the one true self. So I want you to also remember that every aspect of the self, just like I showed you those circles, is limited to what anything that is below the self know about it and have awareness of it. But all the higher selves above, the smaller selves do not know the things that they know. This is why all of the ones and religious, their religion does not go beyond these gods. They don't go beyond all of to the I Self Supreme, the one true self. They all of them are stuck into these duality, these gods with all these names. They're all dualities. The I Self have no name. So I just say the I Self Supreme, the one true self. You know what I'm saying? So these are just my words to just differentiate what I am saying. But the I Self Supreme has no name. But the self did speak to me and say, I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. And so that's why I always use that. That was years ago when I was inquiring within myself. And this was when the self spoke to me and told me that I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. And so each level of the self that I get to be in alignment with, I learned something new. And this is when I realized that all the self does not know everything. They're limited to the level at where they're at. And this is why we are so limited, because we are at the bottom of the self. All right. And that's why I hate when ones, have this idea that they think they know everything. You're trying to say, did you ask? You just been programmed, somebody telling you something and you just believe it. You're inside of a dream. It's all a deception. Did you ask? That's why I give questions. And I said, ask. And wait for yourself to answer. Yourself must say, I am you. I am that has no name. And I am that can't be explained. If yourself is going to give you a name, you know that it is not real. Yourself has no name. So all of those ones who are coming and tricking you and taking over your mind, you have to ask this question. You have to ask, inquire. This is a dream, and everything is here to trick you and deceive you. Remember this. I am the blackness. I return to I ultimate true state. So I want to thank you tremendously for your time. Thank you for clicking this video. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for wanting to know. I hope that I have inspired someone to ask these questions, and especially about this ruling class and this slave class. It's time for all the I and I selves to be one, to be balanced, to be unified. No one self ruling over another self. It is all the I. Why do you want to rule over yourself? Why do you want to do such atrocities to yourself? So, I am one with all. I want I and I to be aware that this mind will want to resist, protest, and convince you of all the reason not to do something. This is just the way this mind works. Know that you are in command. Say, I am in command. I am in command. Reinforce to the mind this affirmation. Mind, be still. Be still. Be still and know that I am in command. I am in command of the commandment command. Mind, be still. I dissolve this dream. As I have commanded, so let it be. So it is. I am stillness. I am that I am. I am formless. I am timeless. I am limitless. I am boundless. How did this boundlessness come into this thing here, this limit body, this body of limitness, right? Being enslaved inside of a dream. It's time now for the I to be returning to the I ultimate true state. I am stabilized in the I, the unmanifest. I am self supreme, primal light. I am the one true self. I am one with all. All is myself, and I alone exist. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. I return to I ultimate true state. I bow to I in self, in light, and in truth. I am primal light, prepared for this world, taking this form and this identity as Auset Aten Ra. I am all. I am one true self. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. May all beings know the I self. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, if the I want to share, if the I want to, you know, how everything has been for the I, would like to know. So, anyways, I am going to close out with no more secrets, no more lies. Thank you so much for joining. I'll see you at the next talk. Know that I am always here. So, and I would love to hear about your journey.
No Time for I self-supreme to destroy this dream. I demolish all that I have created and free from my imaginary bondage. I return to my ultimate true state. No more secrets, no more lies. No more secrets, no more lies. No more lies, no more evil deeds, no more blood sacrifice. How do you identify? Blind, following the blind. The source of every evil lurks in the mind. Ignorance of self is the worst kind. Murderer, what an atrocity, the most heinous genocide, a blatant hatred of the eye. God is your devil in disguise. Awake from the dream, remove the veil from your eyes. Behind the ego, the truth of life. I am one with all is I. No more secrets, no more lies. No more secrets, no more lies. No more evil deeds, no more blood sacrifice. All souls are free. Self-liberation, self-sovereignty. I dissolve this dream. I dissolve this dream.
Yes, I thank